Hello, this is just a quick video talking about how to access your online Kaplan GRE resource and just basically how to navigate the site. So running through this quickly, first thing we would do is we would access our Kaplan login page, and you should see something like this where it says My Active Resources. Now, this is a sample account, so we've got a whole ton of things over here. Most likely, if you signed up for the Kaplan course, you're either going to see this button here, Live Online, or in person. But let's try the in person. So we'll launch course. And this is going to take us to our dashboard, which will just have the little bullet points here, not bullet points, but tab, whatever you want to call these. We'll have just kind of reminders of where you are actually in your course, right? If you on Quant 4, here's what your homework was, did you complete it, all that kind of stuff, next steps. There'll always be something for practice tests that you can continue, next session, so on. All right. But the relevant parts that I want to talk about here would be these here. So study plan is kind of your master section where it will describe all of the different classes that you have, Quant 1, Verbal 1, Quant 2, etc., practice tests. And if you click on any of those, let's say we are on the session with Verbal 2, it'll have your class session with the information about what is the PDF printouts that you would need. They would also have additional recommendations, read these different chapters to reinforce, so on. And then they have an after class button, which again, this is sample accounts, so they're saying all this is completed. But these would be your extra practice, comprehension, practice set, book explanations, etc. Okay? And then also very importantly, find recommendations and more resources on these topics. You have these buttons here. Teach me more, test me more. They'll give you additional things to try based on how you've been doing with the other online resources that you submitted. Okay? So going back to study plan, that's really the thing there. Then you've got this tab here of more practice tests. They give you some additional ones here to try. Test day experience, that's just kind of stuff about what to expect on test day, etc. You can read over that yourself. Next one, resources. This will load. This is generally the tab where it's your recommendations. Now, again, this is a sample account, so according to this one, there's 5 out of 12 things that the sample account user is expected to try to do. Quant strategies quiz, text completion, etc. You can click on these, you start the quiz, it'll pull up another tab. Yeah, it'll tell you here's what you're supposed to do after you complete this. Okay, since it's a sample, oh here, continue over the button. Yeah, and then they'll click your answer choices based on these things. It's just giving you kind of a little sample test here. I'm not going to run through all this, but you can try that yourself. So back to this one. The next two that are very important are channel and QBank. Channel is essentially you've got either live or pre-recorded videos on different GRE topics. I find this to be extremely useful in terms of your preparations for the GRE. You both have your actual class that you would sign up for, but then you have access to all these. You can either sit in on an upcoming class. Let's see for example, what's upcoming. We've got advanced algebra, that's on Tuesday, November 12th, data interpretation, same day. So you would just basically be able to add to calendar, print out a PDF to follow along with, and sit in on the class. So that's very valuable. But you can also access the pre-recorded ones, and you can select by subject. You can, if you're interested in algebra or some of the quant stuff, or if you're interested, say, in verbal, here's their verbal videos, short verbal foundations, text completion, how to build your vocabulary foundations, all that sort of stuff. Each one of these comes along with a PDF that you would preferably, print out or at least have on you as you're doing it, so that you can follow along with whatever the lecture is. Okay, so that was for short verbal, and it would look something like this. We pull this up, and we'd have somebody going through. Looks like it's about an hour going through the concept here. Okay, so that's useful for additional practice. Then finally, trying to make this video quick, the last tab that you have is your QBank, and this is where you would store or find all of your additional extra practice questions. So now it looks like, let me see, all items, how many do they have here? Timed nodes, let's see, select everything, select all, total number of available questions that they've got is something like 2,584. So there's a lot of practice available on this site for these different concepts, but you can narrow it down by, again, question difficulty and then the type or the content area. Basically, that you can create your assignment, tell it how many questions you want to have, and you can go from there. Okay? So again, as you can see, there's a lot of resources here. Hopefully this was helpful. And I guess that'll do it for this video.